Hi everyone. In this video, I want to dive deep into something that I think a lot of you will find fascinating, especially if you've ever dealt with a narcissist. I have a theory that Prince Harry only really stood his ground on one thing, keeping his children out of the public eye. But now we're seeing a shift. Suddenly, Meghan is allowing more glimpses of the children. Why now? And what does this tell us about narcissistic dynamics in relationships? Buckle up because this one is going to be eye opening. Before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. Okay, everyone, let's just get right into it. I'm going to also talk about my own experiences in this video because I literally had the same type of dynamic with my ex-husband that I'm seeing here between Harry and Meghan. There's a pattern that anyone who's been with a narcissist knows all too well. In a healthy relationship, there's a balance. Both people have a say, both people make compromises. You listen to one another, you try to come to a conclusion together. But in a narcissistic relationship, this doesn't happen too often. Narcissists operate with a kind of slow takeover strategy. They might let you think you've won a battle here or there, but in reality, they're just biding their time, waiting for the right moment to get their way. From the outside, it looks like Harry has a firm boundary. And in my opinion, this is the one thing that Harry stood his ground on with Meghan, not letting the children be seen. In my opinion, he was adamant about that with Meghan, and Meghan appeared to comply. But did she ever really accept it? Or was she just waiting for the right moment to override him? And I think that is exactly what happened. I think that they are very close to having not a lot of money, and Megan is using this as an opportunity to bring the children out. There's one thing I used to say with my ex husband when we would come to a decision or we were at a crossroads to make a decision. I would always say it's more important to him than to me. So let's just go with whatever he would want. And soon this turned into every single decision. Every single decision was more important to him than to me. I think that this is a manipulation. If you've been with a narcissist, tell me if this sounds familiar. Every decision, every conflict somehow turns into a situation where what they want is just more important. You start telling yourself, well, I could argue with this, but honestly, it means more to them than it does to me, so I'm just going to let it go. One day you wake up and you realize you've lost your voice entirely. And it's funny, I can look back on it and review the conversations I would have with my family and how many times I used to say, oh, well, it's more important to him than to me. So that's okay. Let him decide. And these were big decisions: buying property, going on vacation, whether or not we would be driving to go to a wedding. Somehow it all became more important to him, and somehow I lost my voice. In Harry and Meghan's situation, is this what could have happened? Did he keep telling himself that Meghan cared more about certain issues than he did? And did this pattern repeat so many times that by now she has decided to put the kids in the public eye and he had no real power left to stop it? The timing of this is important. I think we all know that Meghan is incredibly calculating, especially when it comes to the media. I think she doesn't do anything without a strategy, even though her strategy is messed up and not really well thought through. She's incredibly calculating, but she doesn't know how to play chess. She doesn't realize what reaction or what response or what consequence her actions will take. And I think she's calculating in her message, but she miscalculates what the response is going to be. For years, she's been perfectly fine keeping the kids hidden. But let's be real. Harry and Meghan's money situation isn't looking too good these days. The Spotify deal is gone, the Netflix is hanging on by a thread. And we really have just one piece of work waiting on the horizon in about a week from now. So, what does a narcissist do when the walls start closing in? They pivot. They find a new way to stay relevant. And if there's one thing she has left, it's a glimpse of her children. Megan knows this, and she knows that no matter how much Harry might have thought this was his hill, she can justify it now by saying, look, We need to do this for our future. We need the public to connect with us again. With narcissists, boundaries are only respected until they're inconvenient. Harry may have thought he had drawn a line in the sand, but narcissists don't see boundaries as real. They see them as temporary roadblocks, things they have to maneuver around for now, but can bulldoze the second it benefits them. We've seen Meghan break agreements before. She's rewritten history in interviews, she's changed narratives when it suits her, and now I think she's doing the same thing with the kids. I just wonder, does Harry even realize it? Or is he so deep in the fog of manipulation that he actually believes he agreed to this? And this brings me to my last point, and honestly, the most concerning one. Narcissists don't see their children as separate individuals with their own rights and needs. They see them as extensions of themselves, as tools to be used when necessary. Megan has always been obsessed with controlling the narrative. She wants to be seen as powerful, influential, and adored. And when her own image starts to slip, what better way to regain public favor than by using the ultimate PR asset, her children? And now keep in mind, this is what she's thinking. She doesn't have the self awareness to recognize the consequences of this action. That people like you and I are going to question this timing, that people like you and I are going to see what Megan is doing. Coming back to narcissistic parents, this is why it's hard to keep boundaries with them. Privacy doesn't matter when attention is needed. And if she's showing the kids now, it's because she needs something. We all know what it is. Money, definitely. And perhaps public adoration. So, was this the one thing Harry thought he had control over? Did he genuinely believe he had a say in this decision? If so, I hate to say it, but it looks like this battle, like so many before, in fact, like every single one before, ended in Megan's favor. I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Let me know in the comments. Do you think this was always part of the plan, or did Megan only decide to use the kids now because they're running out of money and public goodwill? If you've ever been in a relationship where you thought you had a say, but later realized you were just fooling yourself, I'd love to hear your experiences. Please feel free to share if you're comfortable. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll be made aware when I drop a new video. I appreciate you all so much for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.